Good
Okay,
day
so
to
you ready to
all.
start?
So are we? Yeah, I'm really frustrated with Google DMCAing all the music bots. It's really put a damper in our pre-launch routine.
Yeah, man. I think the music was cool, right? The music,
Yeah.
um, the vibe was good. Is there any way to bring it back? In
Um,
some shape or form.
I think you could just do like a user bot. Like if you set your own bot to do it in your own server, I don't think they'll say anything. But if you have like a public bot, well, we'll look into it because
Right.
otherwise you infringe on the copyright and all that good stuff.
Uh, but what if you're willing to pay for it? Like, is there like like what if you're willing to pay for I don't know like a 1 hour session
I
of
think I
music?
think Discord is about. I've heard rumors that Discord is rolling out a like watch YouTube together, like like in collaboration with YouTube. I think in that way we should probably be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But okay, I will look into a solution because I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we all miss the music.
We
Absolutely,
definitely need
man.
a bit of music, right?
Yep.
You guys, Tin and Peak, are we ready to start? Today we're going to talk about games. Yeah? So, Tin and Peak, both of you are gamer.
Yeah. I'm a massive gamer. If you can't already tell, and Peak too. Maybe actually Peak can share about his gaming experience. I don't think people have heard about Peak gaming experience.
Yeah, I think like sure. I think I would say that I have played most genres. I like I have had a phase where I played a lot of MOBAs. I'm in a phase right now where I think I'm playing a lot of shooters. And along the way, I play a lot of single player games also. So I am happy to say that I don't think there's a genre that I haven't at least tried. So I
What
think
genre do you hate, though, Peak? Do you hate any genre?
do I hate any genre?
Yeah.
Do hate is a strong word, but I could never get into like very text heavy story based games. Like the point and click adventure type games. But I don't think those are few and far in between right now.
I always
Anything
hated
where I
the
feel
soccer
like
games. FIFA. I hated
yeah,
FIFA.
actually, okay, you know what? Now that you bring up sports games, I hate every single sport game and every single iteration because I think they're lazy and I think they're kind of a cash grab.
Mm, I see. Okay, how about you, Tin?
Actually, I mean, yeah, I love all kinds of games, but I'm similar to Peak. Also go in phases, but there's just something about MOBAs that just yeah. I mean, you always want to watch it. No matter even if you're not playing, you just want to watch it because it's so entertaining. Shooter as well, but I just find MOBA so interesting to watch. The team dynamics, teamwork, the strategies. But in terms of the game I hate, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like pro. I used to play Pro Evolution Soccer, like PES, right? That was quite fun.
It was
Um,
quite back then. Yeah.
yeah, it's super fun. But a game I hate. Maybe like those. Yeah, like I would say those like very text based. Like you have to read tons of text. I think those would be something. Yeah, I would not look forward to playing. But the rest, I enjoy because I think games are magical, man. I think games just yeah. If it made right, it's just so fun, no matter what genre you're playing. So I enjoy to play. I enjoy playing all genre.
So, wait, earlier you talked about MOBA. So, Dota or League of Legends? Which one do you prefer?
Nice. I like this format actually. Pick and I and Trip can also take turns. So me, I'm used to be a Dota guy, Dota one, love it. I used to play like 4 hours a day back in high school. Um, but afterwards, when I discovered League of Legends, I switched because it's just faster. There's no creep deny. Instead of like 45 or like an hour, because I used to play like AP mode, no easy mode in Dota. Um, yeah, so I would say I'm a League of Legend guy now. Yeah. Peak. How about you, man?
I think I tried to get into Dota in college, but I think recently the game that's blown up, and I've recently played a lot of Wild Rift with my because it's a good way to play games with not so gamer girlfriend. So I
Mhm.
have not played a game of Dota since like uni. I think League has done a nice point where they really get casuals in as well. So Wild League over Dota, but currently I'm playing Wild Rift only.
So mobile, MOBA.
Mobile MOBA, yeah.
I mean, I always like
How about
Dota more because of the complexity behind the denies and the games are slightly longer. And the games are more complex, right? What do you guys think?
yes, because the deny, right? The deny is more complex, but also there's an element of what is it called? How do you describe it when a team is winning and they're just gonna roll you over? What's the term for that?
Oh,
Like like if they have like massive momentum and it's impossible to come back, like
Snowball,
Snowball.
snowball. Yeah,
snowballing.
yeah,
Yeah.
snowballing.
So with
Yeah.
I found like with Dota, when a team is like they got like a good head start and they start snowballing, and that's it. Like that's not fun to watch anymore because you know like how the game is gonna go, right? I guess yeah, they just keep gonna
Honestly,
they just yeah.
in pro level Dota, I think I disagree. I think there's always a way to come back, right?
Hmm.
Uh, if you watch internationals, yeah. So, I mean, I'm just a Dota fanboy, lah, right? Peak.
Man, I'm quite a big Dota fanboy too. Like Pudge, Meepo, Lanaya. I mean, those were my favorite heroes. But yeah, still, it's just a bit
There's always
easy
a
to
sort
get
of
snowballed.
rivalry, right, between Dota and League.
Yeah,
I really,
yeah. I used to play League with Peak a lot, so I think I would say he's a Peak. He's a League of Legend guy as well. So yeah,
Yeah, no,
but
I think I can name more League champs than I can Dota champs right now. So I have to say I'm a League guy.
yeah,
I
because of Wild
see.
Rift, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Tin, I
So
got a
when
fun question. Well, sorry. I'm keeping an eye on general chat. We'll have a talk, but I do want to just pick out good questions I see from general chat. Uh,
Sure.
Good question actually. What a bit of a casual one. What is your gamer tag? What do you go as when you go on when you're on
Ooh.
the video games?
um. Okay. I changed in phases, but lately, or the past few years, I've settled on one. Is a Dream Chaser. That is my gamer tag. Dream Chaser.
very corny gamer tag, but okay.
It's actually not corny, okay? It actually was given to me by Obama, okay? So I thought that was quite cool.
Wait, so okay, so what were you before Obama gave you the name?
Magic Bunny.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Remember StarCraft days, man?
Yeah, that's right.
Magic
Magic Bunny.
Magic Bunny.
Okay, okay. This is gonna sound really bad. Okay. I'm gonna tell you guys a fun story. Okay, back in college when I was in Australia, I made a name for my League of Legends account, and I want you guys to know that when I came back, Riot has banned that name. I want you guys to guess what my League of Legends account name was in high school, in uni. Sorry,
They ban it afterwards.
they banned it because it was
Okay.
guys. It's peekaboo right now, but what was it before? What do you guys say?
Fun. Okay.
Cryptinite.
There should be a prize after this. I don't want to answer. I mean, there should be a prize for the
Okay,
community after
this
this
is
or
this is
something.
so random that if anyone actually guesses it right, I will give them one charm.
General chat, go ahead.
I would give them $50. I would try give 50 USDT.
And the
Kids
hint is
just
peak.
pick their books.
Okay, it's 3 words and peak is not in it.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Okay.
okay, so I want so while we're waiting, I want guesses from Cryptinite and Tin.
What if I get it right?
You're not gonna get it right, but then you get $50 from me and a charm.
I'll leave it to Crip, man. Crip, you can win. Go ahead, bro.
Oh my god. Uh,
Three
thanks. I
words.
really don't know, man. 3 words. Does not have pig in it. So it has your boo in it, lah, right?
No, 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 no. Okay, actually, I'll give
It's
you a hint.
totally random.
The middle word is your.
Uh,
You just made it so much easier. Okay.
Okay. All
lick
right.
your book or something like that. I don't know.
No. Okay. So my nick and I want to disclaimer my nickname back. I'm a different person now, not as immature as I was back then. My nickname in uni for gaming was seducing your mom. Oh my god, Elf got it. Love your mom.
Seducing your
Oh my
mom.
god, Elf actually got it.
What? Someone got it?
They did get
Oh yeah.
seducing, but I think I'll give it to Love Your Mom. Oh
Wait, what?
my god. So the
Someone got
name,
it.
so someone got it. So they got you're out 50 USDT and I'm out a charm. Wow.
Okay. Well, say whoever that is, give me. Well, send a mod your ETH address, and I'll send you. Actually, no, send me the TRC, cheaper, TRC 20 address, and I'll send you 50 USDT.
Okay, there we go. 50 USDT. Wait,
Oh
Truco
man.
guessed it? Oh wait, no. Okay,
Super wasn't
no.
it?
Truco guessed F your mom, but he's a mod, so I'm not gonna give anything to him.
No, FPL mom is too far. No, it's too
Yeah,
far back, man.
love your mom is more correct. Love your mom is more correct. So
Yeah.
congratulations to Elf for the most off the wall guess I've ever seen. And I want you guys to
Congrats,
know
huh?
I am now much more mature.
Yeah,
Sure.
congrats on growing up, man.
So I think everyone can guess what my handle right now is Peekaboo. So that's not too hard for anyone.
Of course. Yeah, so just back to like gaming for a bit. I do want to take a segue on sharing about my like I think why my personal view why MOBAs or just yeah I guess MOBA games are so interesting, and why it captivates me because I also like playing chess, right, and I like strategy game, but I'm a team player. Like, I like team sports a lot. So I think MOBA has that element. It's like you play with a group of four other friends, like group of five, and the feeling of winning together and like beating the enemy team is just much more fun when you're with your friends, I think. So I think that's why that's one of the biggest draw of MOBA. And number two is every game is different. Like when you play a game against like a bot or an AI, like or a single player game, I guess. Like after you finish the game, you don't really play it because you've been there, done that, you beat the story, so what? But with like social games, a game with teams and like against people, it's just so dynamic. Like every game is different, and I think that's why I personally really like MOBAs, and I think that's why three of us here play it a lot, and we can always come back to it. I mean, Dota is what, like 15 years old now, right? If you consider the original Dota from the Warcraft 3 mod, right? Peak around
Yep.
there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was Finn who got me into Dota.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got you too many games, man.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. StarCraft 2, remember?
Yeah, but yeah. No, I think MOBA, like Tim said, MOBA can bring you like the highest of highs, but it can also bring you some very low lows. And I'm sure anybody who's played a MOBA, especially solo queue, has experienced that.
Yeah. Solo queue sucks. Solo queue
I think
sucks, man.
MOBA brings about one of the most toxic communities also, in my opinion, like especially Dota, right? So when you play MOBA, all the efforts start coming out, and I feel some depression after I've lost a game. Yeah. So if any of you guys experience that,
I see. I think that like I used to think that like MOBAs were more toxic, right? I just think that whenever you put 10 people in a 5v5 competitive environment, like emotions are gonna fly. Like I've played so many that at this point, like no matter the game, whether it be CS:GO, Valorant, or whatever it is, like when you can lose, there's toxicity, and I think that's
You
just
know, Crypt, because I used to have a lot of Singaporean friends, right? And we used to play Dota together. And and I learned all the Singaporean slangs from those games. Like when this I got a friend called Jeff, right? I mean, Jeff, if you're here, I'm sorry. Um, he would lose, he would get killed, and he's like, "Walane, where are you guys? Let me to die." Like I now just look at him like, "What did you just say?" And then of course he gotta explain to me what the whole like walane and walawe means, right? It was so funny, man.
I
Dota
think
days.
the thing about MOBA is also about, I mean, bringing five people together and just enjoying the game with friends, right? So, I mean, even though if my friend is a noob or a pro, it doesn't really matter as well. But it's about five people coming together and just enjoying the game, yeah, no matter win or lose. That's the best part. Also,
Uh,
so
yeah,
you played
yes
with Peak
and
earlier?
yeah. I used to play with Peak and also some other like uni friends and high school friends. I
You
just
guys
like
still
playing
keep in
games with
contact?
people in general. Yeah, some high school friends, yeah, but we don't play game together anymore because different time zones and everything. But yeah, we still keep in touch for sure.
Great, great. Moving on from there, right? I mean, we talked about a bit about complexity of games, and some games are a bit easier to learn and master than others.
Actually, that's a
What
very
is?
good point. No, no, actually, there was a good talking
Yeah,
point just now. Sorry, I didn't
yeah.
finish because yes, I was saying like when you play games and like what Peak was saying, when you put 5v5 together comparatively, it gets heated up, right? People get stressed. Like I've actually have moments where I really want to flip the table, because of the stress and the anxiety and the frustration sometimes. And I think that's also a reason why, with like really hardcore competitive games, you don't see so much of you see less of a female population. I mean, there have been studies on that as well, that like just the feminine, the better half of the world, I guess, they don't like hardcore competitive game as much as I guess the males. So that is also one of the reasons why, I mean, for Cypher, we are making two game modes. One is of course the MOBA PvP that we're all expecting and waiting for next year. But there's also a PvE, which is a co-op dungeon game where it's a group of friends playing together, fighting against like enemies, AIs, enemy bosses in dungeons. And those games, yes, it's fun, yes, it's social, but it's also less stressful. And I hope that that game mode would be really like a hit with the female or the better half of the world, that they can play those. So yeah, just want to say that.
Right. So, can you explore, since we are in the dungeon topic, what is this dungeon about? Is it a turn-based strategy genre?
Okay, good
Or,
question. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's a dungeon co-op live action game. So you control your character live, right? Your, WASD, right? Or on mobile, you use your joystick, left joystick, and you move that character around. You guys probably have seen some of the
Mhm.
videos of the sneak peek of the Inu, right? So yeah, that's you running around, holding your weapons, and just fighting. Um, we're working on some really cool game trailers that we will probably be able to release, in the upcoming weeks or I guess month. But yeah, I mean, the idea is three of you form a team, different races, different weapons, and you just go in and you just beat the crap out of these monsters, level after level after level, and eventually you reach a boss, right? And of course, after you beat a boss, you unlock more dungeons and you unlock items and drops and rare loots, that the whole thing, and the whole thing repeats, and it get harder, more challenging, and more tactical. So that's the gameplay. Definitely not a turn-based game. It's a live action game.
I see. So both it's both the PvP as well as the PvE is a live action, but the PvE is more of a event based, lah, right? Stage based, and then progressing upwards from a ladder
Co-
or sort of
Correct.
system. Yeah.
Correct, and
Okay. Very good.
it's a team versus the AI, right? Whereas the MOBA is people versus people, right?
Okay, great. So actually, what makes is the PvE like hard? How does it scale in difficulty? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I mean, just like if you play Diablo, you're quite familiar, right? Just the enemy the different
Um,
enemy types, different enemy
mhm.
mix, different traps, different dungeon traps. The scaling, it gets harder. They're more powerful. They have more HP. They do more damage. They run at you faster. Um, they we're testing this map where like there's this like sniper, right? They're like so far away and they just two shot you, So that's the kind of thing where you have to be really tactical with your team as well. So and there's a bomber type, right, where they throw like this massive like bomb, and of course everyone's gonna run away from that, right? So yeah, I think the how dungeon games are interesting is because of the randomization of levels and enemies.
Wow, you've brought up to totally a new section, right? By mentioning Diablo. I mean, recently we have Diablo 2 Resurrection launched already. So I'm not sure if you guys tried that, but Diablo is like how to say, it's so repetitive, right? I can go in anytime and then I can just play the game again and again and again and again and love it every single time. Um,
hmm
are there any elements from Diablo you're implementing to Cypher? What can we learn
Yeah,
from there?
I think Diablo is a master class. I think a lot of Blizzard games are like master class in game design. Um, and like WoW, right, or StarCraft, or even just like the Dota thing. But yeah, I mean, Diablo, we were definitely taking a lot of mechanics from there. But again, it's not going to be as complex as Diablo. I mean, man, like Diablo grind can take like hours, right? But with us, we try to make the dungeon more snackable. So, you have a lunch break, 15 minutes. Hey, Crip, hey, Peak, let's go play. We beat like one or two dungeons and then we stop, and then we can continue again. So that's the kind of gameplay, in terms of time. We call it time to beat or time to kill, right? That's the kind of gameplay experience we want to create. And how does it get interesting? Because the levels, man, the levels are beautiful design. It's like very well made in terms of procedurally generated. Um, and yeah, I mean, you play with friends. Like today, I play with Crypt. Tomorrow, I play with Peak. Next day, I play with Truco, or it's fun because also the people you play with are different, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, talking about Diablo as well, we have different classes there as well, Barbarian, Wizard, Disruptor. How would the different classes here affect the gameplay? Would there
Yeah,
be certain support skills and
great
how would
question.
that work?
Great question. Yep, yep, yep. So I mean, I think Diablo is a good one, a good example, I guess, to look at. Is yeah, I mean, you have your Inus, and different Inus have different sub races, so they have different skill tree. So some dungeon are better with, let's say cosmic, and two canis, for example. Because I don't want to spoil the the Neko sub races yet. um, or some dungeon is like Necro Subrace A, Necro Subrace B, and then a Canis, for example. Yeah. So, and of course, there's a Tori, there's a Buru as well, right? So you can imagine the combination. Um, and you just gotta pick what works best for you, for your team at that dungeon, that level, right? Um, of course, there's progression as well. So there's leveling up. There's a skill leveling up. Sorry, there's a character leveling up, and there's weapons leveling up, upgrades. Yeah, so they're definitely using different class for sure.
Great. So, at the start of Diablo 3, there was actually an in-game auction house whereby people could actually buy and sell weapons. How would that affect gameplay? If I were to sell a legendary weapon, for example, would that bring about a pay-to-win element, do you think?
I think that's something we're very conscious about, and we'll have to design the marketplace. We don't call it the auction house. We'll call it like so for now, it's going to copy the Cypher marketplace until we have a better name, where players can trade. You guys can trade your different weapons and cosmetic armors and charms and so on. Um, but in terms of like someone with a lot of money buying a really powerful weapon or like a really good looking piece of armor, I mean, it's free commerce, right? But
So,
if it's just them with that one weapon and their two teammates are just like normal and a really bad player, ultimately you still need skill to beat the game, right? You don't just have like a gun, like you go in and you one shot and you kill the boss, right? That doesn't work in our game, right? So yeah,
yep,
you
yep.
still need skills for sure.
Another thing, so for example, if I'm going for a dungeon, can another player join me mid-dungeon? So in other games
Yeah,
like Monster
yeah,
Hunter, for
yeah,
example,
yeah,
does
yeah.
it scale the difficulty as well?
Yeah, so we're again, that's something we're working on. We call this the drop in feature, drop in. So let's say you spin up the game, you're looking for a group, but there's no group. Then you just go play, and then 5 minutes in, there's a guy or your friend. They drop into the game and they play with you. Then there's an element of scaling. Yes, it's quite hard to do it well, but we're working on it. And so depending on the scaling, there'll be different rewards as well, right?
Yeah, great. Okay, so next let's move on to something else. I mean, we have all played immersive stories, right? I mean, games like Witcher, Skyrim, Mass Effect, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, for example. These are games, golden games, right? So how are we gonna tell the story in Cypher? How will we immerse the audience?
Um,
Is there
for
any?
me, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, I love Witcher. I mean, I love storytelling. I love Metal Gear. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, these games are just, or like lately I play, what is it? Last of Us, right? Part one, part two. Um, I think storytelling is extremely important, and that's why I we at Cypher, we spent a lot of time crafting a really compelling story. What you see now, I mean, everyone here see like all this Cypher, Cypherian, and Inu and Neko. What you're seeing is, I can guarantee you, it's just the surface, right? It's just a scratch of the story. Like, I cannot wait for you to actually play, load up the game for the first time, watch the intro, watch some cutscenes, go on the first dungeon, start beating some bosses, and then watch some more cutscenes. And then all these like pieces of informations and hints, you just start dropping and you start making sense of the world. And towards the ending of when you beat the final boss for the dungeon game for the first time, hopefully that's when you have the realization that, oh man, this is, now I know why I'm here. Now I know why Cypher exists. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'm really looking forward to craft that whole storytelling experience for you guys.
Nice. Pig, do you have anything to add? Pig, are you there?
He's on mute, I think.
Hey, yeah, no, no, sorry, I'm here. I was listening. I think Tin answered that question pretty well. I'm just, I'm listening and will contribute where I can. I'm just answering some small FAQs that people have for the game. I think everyone's very excited.
Okay.
Okay, great. We are, of course, like you mentioned, we are still in the development phase of the game, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yep.
what
Very
is your
early stage.
perspective on some games, right, or companies? Like, for example, there was a case whereby CD Projekt Red actually rushed out Cyberpunk a bit too fast, and then it
Yeah,
was a
man.
bit, yeah, it was a bit
Yep.
upsetting. So, uh, how long? I mean, what is your perspective on this? How long should a game company really test their game and make sure, or should they prioritize meeting deadlines a bit more?
Mm. Um, there's no hard and fast answer, to be honest. As we all know, our gamers know, like making a great game takes a long time, especially if it's like a 3D, like live action multiplayer control game. Um, so typically, a game development process can go anywhere from a year to like 2 years, sometimes even 3 years. Some games take 3 years to make. Um, for Cypher, we aim to make it a bit faster because I personally believe in agile development, meaning that let's let's get the game good enough and then get community feedback, and then improve upon it. Why? Because one of my, I guess, role model of a game studio is Supercell, right? Supercell kills the game fast and release the game equally as fast. So once they release a game, they test it, they try to improve it. If it doesn't work, they try to improve it again and they kill it. For me, I think that should be the approach where the customer feedback is the most important. So if you can get them to play the game and of course like it's private beta or open beta or whatever it is, right? You just know what works and what doesn't. You can basically validate your assumptions. So what I'm trying to work on is to have that test period can go on for like months and months and months. And and I think I think gamers in general are quite happy with being able to contribute to that testing period or that playing experience, because they're still playing the game and they're actually seeing their suggestions or their ideas, some of them being implemented, right? And that's what makes it really worth it. Um, so for the PVE dungeon specifically, I think there'll be at least like 4 months of test play until we can have like a reasonable MVP out to the public. And then that doesn't mean we're finished. That means that we're gonna keep improving and improving and improving it. Yeah, over like
Great.
just months and months and months and adding content and adding content. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean,
All right,
of
just
course,
to
now, yeah,
oh, sorry, sorry, cut you. I think just to add on to Tim's point is that not only do you need to iterate fast, but because the Cyberpunk was the example that you gave, I think your marketing department just needs to go hand in hand with your actual game development, and also that you just need to set people's expectations accordingly. You know, like you can't you can't make a game that's an 8, but like yell at the top of your lungs that like it's it's perfect. It's gonna revolutionize gaming, right? So I think it's important that you under promise and you over deliver, or and I think that's the best way to get people
Absolutely.
positively reacting to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
better to say nothing and come out with a mediocre product than to like talk a bunch of smack and then come out with a decent product, but like not up to where your level, you know? Obviously, we're not gonna come out with a mediocre product, but I just that was the point I'm making.
Yep. 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 Thanks, Speak.
That's great. So, can you share with us a bit more about the back end, the development team, and what
Yeah.
they're doing right now? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to talk about how we've recently expanded the back end team a lot just in preparation for this game, so people can see that we're hard at work
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. So we've onboarded, well, we've been building up our core team. We have about 12 artists now, 3D, 2D, concept art, animation, 12 artists who are working full time on the game. We have another 12 developers who are working also full time on the game. We have another four developers who are working on the blockchain side of the game, because ultimately this is still a blockchain game. There's a big blockchain component and blockchain product experience that we need to build to make this game work on a blockchain as well. So those three, just adding that would be like up to 30 people. And then of course you have all the marketing people, you have the finance people, you have HR, you have and of course you have the game designers who are like super important because they design all the stats, all the attributes, all the skills. So that's another two people in that. And then coming to three, so we're about a good 40 people. And our office is, we have space for like only 54. So hopefully we are good at 54, and then expand sort of like internationally or something. But of course, we can always put more tables in there. But yeah, I think just to let you know, like everyone know that the scale of the team is about 40 coming to 50 people. Um, and yeah, it's all full steam ahead. It's like it's so exciting, some of maybe Crip can have like some insights into the game, also into the team process, and he sees like it's buzzing, with constant meetings and product meetings, gameplay meetings, artwork meetings, story meeting, comics meeting. Like, man, it's just full on. Yeah. So what Crip was, you were asking me about the back end development part of it, right? Um,
Yeah. I mean, where are we? Is there any status on where we are now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we are still validating. One of our core assumption is this game fun? Is the dungeon co-op mode live action that would then become like a MOBA fun? What do you mean? What I mean by that, like the mechanic, the three C's, right? The three C's: the camera, the characters, the controls. So we ought to validate that and make sure that when we go out and we go to the test, to the private beta test, it's fun enough that people can play it for like 20 sessions without any additional game loop or any funky fancy content. They're just happy playing that level with different enemies, different combination of enemies, and different combination of teammates, and just enjoy it for like 20 sessions. Because ultimately, Cypher's goal is to make a fun and compelling game first, and then having that ability for the marketplace and play to earn second. So I think that is our core focus, and that's why that's why we want to start building Cypher.
Okay. You mentioned about blockchain earlier and how
Mm-hmm.
Cypher is actually fundamentally still a blockchain game, right? So, how does the blockchain and the tokenomics coming in make the game more complicated? Actually, what's your
Oh yeah,
perspective?
yeah. I mean, because in traditional games, right? Kind of like the game developers can just change whatever they want whenever, and have no consequences. With blockchain gaming, you're creating an economy, right? A vibrant, live, real economy that have consequences, and you cannot just go and change things at the whim of your game designer. So that's why it takes a lot of work, to think about like, okay, what is the supply of the gold, so to speak, or the aether in this game? How much should it cost for you to? How much it cost you in terms of time for you to play in order to acquire like Aether or acquire like in-game items that can be exchanged for for real money. Um, how long should you be able to play until you level up? How long until you're able to play until you get like a character core to then clone your Cypher Inu or whatever into a new Cypher Inu? Like all this is like mathematics and a lot of like economy design that like spreadsheets after spreadsheets after spreadsheets. Um,
It's
and
building
yeah,
a
it
whole
has to
new
be.
world.
It is because the moment you introduce one new item, that item will probably affect like all the other, tens and hundreds of items. So yeah, it's quite complex, but it's also what makes I think blockchain game really sticky, because because there's true ownership and there's true accountability on all sides, and because of true ownership, so even though you can trade, you can sell your characters, you can get someone else to play for you, you can form a guild, you can form a like the guild master program, right? So I think that is also very fun and exciting, like other games, traditional games would never have that.
So when we talk about blockchain as well, in the same vein, when we see certain coin prices fluctuating, how does that affect the game as well? Maybe we can share
Yeah, so
viewpoints on that. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at a few case studies, right? Some of the better games, like xe, or some of the not so good games, like I don't want to name names, but you can see that the if the people playing the game is just only there for only a single purpose, which is like play to earn or like play to make money, the moment they stop making money, or they just like or like breaking even, they stop playing, because to them it's like work. It's like going to work. Like, why? Um, but if for me, I want to switch it around. Like, I think that it shouldn't be like that. I think that even though the tokens can go up or down depending on like whether someone is like dumping it or whatever reason, FUD or whatever, the game ultimately is still fun and sociable, and you still have your good groups of mates and good groups of friends who want to come and play just because you enjoy your time spent together in that game world. And then you get all these items that, yeah, today you might not make money because the item price not so high, but you still play, you still have fun, and then tomorrow or next week or next month, then you can sell it and you still make money. You know what I mean? So that is really important for me, because there's no way, it's impossible to design something that only goes up and up and up. Like, it's impossible. And you don't want to do that anyway, because that's just manufactured and it's fake, right? So you want to keep it natural, demand, supply, make a great game, and everyone will benefit.
Thank you. Next part, let's talk about guilds and alliances. I mean, the best of games, like for example, World of Warcraft, have guilds, right? And I spent a long time with my guildmates, and we all become great friends over time. How
Hmm.
does guilds impact Cypher? I mean, how do guilds make the game better for Cypher?
Social, right? What you just described is a very social human experience. I play WoW, and I also love my guilds, and I play with friends, and we're in the same guild. So I think the guilds bring that social element to the next level, meaning that it just give that extra reason for people to hang out and be in the game and just be in each other's company. But with Cypher, we also want to make the guilds even more than that. Like, we're thinking of elements where if you're part of a guild, that guild can. I was just thinking out loud. This is by no means committed in a roadmap. Uh, the guilds can, let's say, have a large amount of Aether, and they can stake it. And if they stake it, they can have this buff that all the guild members in their guild are given that buff, like whether it's like a bit more HP, a bit more health, or just a bit more attack damage when they go on a dungeon. So we're working on this mechanic where you feel like your guild is really benefiting you in a true playing sense, and not just there for just only the social element. Of course, the social is super important as well. So tool for like recruitment, managing your guilds, managing member contribution. Yeah, we gotta build all those tools as well, which I think we may or may not be able to do ourselves. So we need the community to support, just like how Axie did it with their like Axie.tools or Axie.zone. Um, I think we have some ideas on building that with the community. But yeah, it'll be a two-prong approach. Guilds giving players benefits, tangible benefits, and also the players, getting the social experience from being in guilds and playing with their friends.
Okay. Let's move on to another section of games and why are games so great. So, I mean, for example, let's look at Skyrim, right? So Skyrim, I mean, personally, I wanted to play Skyrim again and again because every time I go in, I can play another race, right? How does the races in Cypher come into play? Do each race have a? Can you elaborate a bit more about races in Cypher, basically?
Yeah, it's a different experience though, because Skyrim is like a single player kind of like, so you go in and this time you're a druid, this time you're a bard, this time you're I don't know, like
Mm.
a vampire, a thief. So it's like role playing, right? Whereas
Yeah.
Cypher is not a role playing game. Cypher is a online co-op game. So the unique experience you get is different than Skyrim, because Skyrim, the unique experience you get is from choosing different starting character, different class. With Cypher, the unique experience is playing with different friends, different dungeons, different combinations of enemies, or fighting against different groups of people. So that is what makes
Mm.
Cypher fun and compelling. And because of those unique combinations, so today you're a Neko A or a Inu Cyborg. Tomorrow you're a Cosmic, or the next day you're a Bio Z. So and your enemy is different. So that will form like this unlimited sort of like combinations that only cooperative games can bring, and not single player games.
Mm. We are coming to the end of our session, actually. So, Tin, what is most important in a game? Is it the storytelling? Is it the action? Is it the community? What do you think is the most important element that brings the success of a game?
Mm, this is a like super fantastic question, because I have a strong opinion on a few things here. So for me, right, I think games should have, like, I think there should be four design pillars. I call them design pillars when I make games. I think one is that a game must be fun and addicting to play. So that's pillar number one. Number two is it must be technically feasible, like for the players to do and to actually not too crazily complicated. Three, it must be artistically well made, like the story, the art must be well made and attractive. And four, lastly, it's just an element of wow. By wow, I don't mean World of Warcraft. By wow, I mean like, oh wow, that's a special moment. Like, oh wow, just take your breath away because of the story. Or, oh wow, that music, note when I go into that dungeon, I really like that moment. Or like, oh wow, like I posted on Twitter yesterday, like when I said system call, that was like my moment when I watch Sword Art Online, right? I mean that moment stick with me because it's just like it's just so cool. So I think games should have those four elements, and then it have a chance of being a really great game.
Great. Thank you, Tin. So, any questions, Pete, on your end?
Um, no, 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 not for me.
Hey,
I
guys,
think,
we are
sorry,
just.
I think an aspect that Tin hasn't talked about yet is just there's a surprising amount of games. I think I'm sure a lot of people have experiences. There are a lot of games that you would never play by yourself, but because your friends play it or the community that you're a part of plays it, you just end up coming back to that game over and over. You know, like I'm sure there's a lot of people who can attest that they just came back to that one game because all of their friends play it. You know, and I think having friends that share the same hobby as you is really one of those things that really makes or breaks how good a game, how good I perceive a game to be. Like even if it's like a single player game, I would like to have someone else that plays it with me so we can talk about it, you know? Because I really think that social aspect of being able to discuss and immerse yourself and look at it from an outside perspective is really important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Ultimately, we're social creatures, right?
Yeah,
We want to be around the company of our friends and like just have Discord. Like this
yeah.
Discord is about community. Like people, I've seen some. I laugh so hard when I read some of the comments. Like this afternoon, like some guy was going on about the Inu arm. You guys saw that? I was
Yeah.
reading
No,
it.
no, don't bring it up. Shush, 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 shush.
I was just laughing so hard. I was like, "Oh my god, it's so funny." Yeah, I mean, just the community is will bring people together, and same thing for games, right? I mean, game is just
You
really
could
groups of people.
say, sorry, I need to say this. I guess you could say they were up in arms.
Oh man, good try, Peak,
Sorry,
good try.
I had
Long
to.
way to go, Pete. Long
I'm
way to
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys, we're just about to come to a close. Any teasers for the crowd, team? Anything you want to say? Anything you can say at all?
anything, huh? I mean, I have tons of things I want to say, but I don't want to say it. You know, right, Crip? You know, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know, I know.
I think I think what I will say, I think what I will say is that um, the life cycle of a project is always up and down, right? So I think like right now we're in like the cool phase where everything's ramping up and we're getting ready to just hit the ground running, right? So for the short future, like maybe a week or two, it'll be a bit slow. But once the game dev really gets rolling, once all of our big partnerships get finalized and we can start getting announced, I think that's when you'll see Cypher just, go and just won't stop. So it's a pseudo announcement of an announcement, but I think sooner or later people will see why we believe in this project the way we talk about it.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think that's a very good reminder to everyone that, I keep saying, like we're here for the long haul, right? We're here, we're building a great game, great games. We're here to build a metaverse. We're here to, build it with our community. So, yeah, I think the next few weeks, 2 weeks, I say most, you would hear, you would
Yeah,
see,
two
you
weeks,
would
right?
feel, yeah, you feel a lot of these activities that we have planned and are working so hard with our whole team on, for the community. And yeah, I just can't wait for you guys to take part in it and build Cypher together.
I think there's a reason we full doxed ourselves and everybody knows our real names and who we are and where we live, right? Okay, maybe not where we live, but we believe in the project. That's why our name's on it. So yes, we have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
yeah, exactly. That's the biggest indication of trust, if not anything else. But yeah, just to summarize, guys, everyone, thank you for joining in this very casual, chill fireside chat. This is our first fireside chat, and so we try to keep it like quite relaxed and freestyle. But if you have some recommendations or ideas on how we can improve the format, I don't know, maybe Crip can tell some jokes in the next fireside chat,
We need
or
Script to.
or he can be very cryptic about some stuff. Yeah, happy to entertain those ideas because like I said, we're gonna keep doing this and just hang out with you guys, on a weekly kind of basis, and also it's a chance for us to update you on what's going on behind the scenes with the team. So yeah, keep it coming, and thanks for joining and thanks for listening.
Yep. Crip, can you quickly just announce to everyone so people know what the next fireside chat as well as the next AMA?
Okay, guys, so the next fireside chat will be on the 3rd of October, right? So what we'll be doing is having a chat with early on. So he's part of the Cypher team, and some of the Cypher team members will be talking about some quests, macro whitelisting, build master program, and some of their thoughts behind why they did what they did. Right? So after that, the AMA will be coming up on the 10th of October, right?
Yep.
So during this date, we will have a 5 day session whereby we will open up a channel, and then we will get the community to post up questions. But do know that some questions may not be
Yeah.
able to be answered
Yeah.
at the
So
time
so
itself,
I'll
right? Yeah.
yeah. So I'll take this. So we've ran many AMAs before, and we've answered the questions that we could. I understand that a lot of people were disappointed that certain questions could not get answered, and without explanation, it might feel like we're dodging the question. So, I discussed with Crypt, and I promised that in the upcoming AMA about 1.5 weeks from now, I promise that we will not answer every question, but we will address every question. And there will be questions that we cannot answer at this point in time simply due to NDA reasons or because it doesn't fit in our roadmap yet. But me and the team will explain clearly why we can't answer the questions, and I promise whatever question is posted, they will at least be addressed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fully
Thanks
agree.
so much, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
So
Have a great day.
yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank you,
great day
everyone.
ahead. So there are contests running. Please join in. If you haven't checked it, check out the announcement. We have the Necro Lines Challenge and the Inu Lines Challenge running. So stay tuned for more contests coming up. Have a great day and a great night ahead. Thanks.
All right,
Bye,
see you all
guys.
later. Bye bye.
Bye.